If you discredit him, if everything comes out and says he's a liar, we still got these two pilots. And
he was talking about reverse engineering crafts.
That's right.
So where is he saying these crafts came from? He had also talked about recovering non-human biologics. David Grusch. His testimony, I mean, it just had, there was so many different aspects of the things that he had been involved in. It was kind of ironic that, if I remember correctly, he never actually saw anything with his own two eyes. It was all things that had happened on the program that he was a part of, correct?
Secondhand, yeah.
You know?
Was told about, and that he debriefed people on, I believe, and along that line, yeah.
But to me, personally, it was the most... I can't really say in depth because it was so vague. It was, I got to tell you about this in a skiff. I got to tell you about that in a skiff. I can't answer this question unless it's in a skiff. But I guess I'll just say this. It was the one that caught my attention the most.
I'd say it caught the country's attention the most. And I said, if you discredit him, if everything comes out and says he's a liar, we still got these two pilots. I just think that they, I know Grusch, known him for some time. We talk, we text frequently or whatever. And, he's a very interesting guy. He's put into a tough situation. And again, why would you come out with all that? Because you know he's going to get humiliated publicly.
Yeah. Could you go through some of the stuff that he disclosed?
Yeah. Bodies. There are bodies. There are craft. And that went along with my line of questioning. My questions were kind of leading because I knew the answer, but I wanted them to say it, that they, we know this stuff's out there. Somebody has it, and how they keep it from us. Because the next thing would be, well, why didn't somebody come out with it then? Because the people that have it, that are looking at it probably right now, don't know what the heck they're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And
he was talking about reverse engineering crafts.
That's right.
So where is he saying these crafts came from? Where did we recover them?
Some are archaeological now I could be putting conversations that I've had versus the committee, because you got to realize I've been...
Yep. You don't know.
I've been in so much of these meetings, and people call me, and then I get information and talk to these guys or text them or whatever. But some of them are archaeological in digs that people have found. Some of them are craft that have crashed recently that have just been covered up. But there's kind of a cutoff, I think, because of the technology. And that leads me back to that electro whatever radio that we think maybe caused them some difficulty and that caused some of these crashes, and that our technology has moved past that now. So you're probably not seeing those type of crafts, those crashes happening, if they are happening at all, because we've moved past the technology that we were using in the 40s and 50s and 60s and maybe in the 70s. But it's not transistors anymore, obviously.
So it was previous technology that was causing these things to crash. What technology?
It was a radio technology, some kind of radio technology we were using, and maybe in some of our radars and things like that we no longer use. And I apologize, I can't even remember the name of it. I should have read up on it again, but it was. I was told that by somebody pretty informed that thought that was probably the reason that all of a sudden that it started. And then all of a sudden it sort of stopped, because after we quit using that kind of technology, it quit. It apparently would not, and I don't know if shorten it out is the right thing, because I don't know what they're using.
Yeah.
But apparently is what it did was it would lock them up, kind of.
Maybe offline, did he ever talk about how long it may have taken to reverse engineer some of these crafts?
Offline, like me and you talk offline, or offline? Did I talk offline with them?
Offline with them.
Oh, yeah. They said a lot of it we're still not even in the ballpark. We're hardly scratching the surface. Again, it goes back to taking my Harley Davidson back to the people on the Mayflower kind of thing, and we're the people on the Mayflower.
Yeah.
Because this technology is so advanced, so far past us that we don't even, it's just hard for us to comprehend.
How about, he had also talked about recovering non-human biologics.
Yeah, bodies is what, and of course, if the craft got here, somebody had to fly them at some point. How they do that, I don't know.
I mean, not necessarily. We're doing drones.
Yeah, we're doing drones.
Like
that's correct.
Going to
that's
drones.
correct. And maybe that's why some of them do, some of them don't. But I would think at some point we would, some kind of, you look at the hieroglyphics and things, and some people have mentioned that there is, that there would, well, I know one of them told me, that I referred to earlier, told me that there was like, they wouldn't call it portholes, but it was obviously something, a viewing type situation. Where
what do you mean by that?
They could see out of it, the craft. That was in the, maybe the Mediterranean, I believe where they were at the time in the Navy. And when the craft slowed down over them, that they could see when it was, before it got to them or when it's pulling out or whatever, they could see that there was obviously some kind of viewing apparatus in it. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't get too hung up on all that. I just, like I said, my thing is that they continue to hide this. How can we trust the government that said they didn't exist? And then all of a sudden they say they do exist. And we're supposed to fund them to study it. I just think they'll trickle stuff out and keep that hook out there, and we'll just keep biting it.
Yeah.
Because that's human nature, and it's going to, but they know they got to.
I mean, when is the first time that you heard that we've recovered non-human biologics? Well, it obviously wasn't in the hearing.
Yeah. I don't know, a couple years ago.
What was your reaction?
Not surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised at anything anymore, man. Every time I just go back to my statement about every night I will tonight. I'll go out and look at those stars every night. The light from that left before the time of Christ. I mean, that's incredible. That's over 2,000 years ago, dude. That light left that. And some of these stars we're seeing have imploded.
They're already gone.
They're already gone, and we're seeing the light from them just now.
We're looking back in time.
Right.
That's fascinating stuff.
It's too much to me. I can't really, in my little West Knoxville mind, it's too much for me to comprehend.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't get too caught up in all of it. I don't really pick the sides on this thing.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to recall specifics, a lot of the specifics in it, because honestly, I was so tired and so worn out when that committee finally rolled around, because we were just every roadblock. I mean, it was just weary almost, and they just wore us down. And that was part of the intention. I think they thought we'd throw in the towel.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes, so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.